Hello friends. In this video, I would like to talk more about the last SSB which I faced in Bangalore. So it was a CDS entry for Short Service Commission. My board was 24 SSB Bangalore. My reporting was on 21st of April 2026. And talking about the number of candidates which appeared on the gate, let me break down my screening day into three parts. First, how we reached there, what kind of documentations we faced, and later on how the PPDT and the OAR things went happen. And after that, there was half a day which was more important because the psych test was conducted on the very first day. So let me start when I reported in the center. So first of all, most of you are aware of who have visited the Bangalore city that the SSB area is full of mosquitoes. So in the morning when we reached at around 5:30 a.m., still the army people they refused to open the doors for us. They said the exact time is 6 o'clock in the morning, and they will only open the gates at on that time. So you must be prepared because Bangalore is known for its humidity, and there can be good chances of rain happening anytime, which can hamper your formal dresses. So you must be ready for that also. And so our documentations went through properly. We were told to put out documents like first of all your admit card for your written exam, then your SSB call letter, which was common for all the candidates. You can go to the website and download it. So the documentations took place. First of all, we went to the breakfast. It was a hearty meal, good meal, and then straight away they checked our documents, which involved 10th, 12th mark sheet, all the college year certificates, the provisional degree, etc. Now talking about the OIR. The OIR test was very quite handy, you can say, because most of my friends did not found it sufficient. They did not found enough time to complete all the questions, so they missed on most of them. But in my case, as I've already prepared OIR from home, I was aware that even if I ran out of time, I must fill the options blankly because there is no such negative marking in the OIR. So now let's talk about the PPDT picture. A very hazy picture was shown to us, which was there was a scene of a restaurant. There is a reception table, and there is a round circular table on which two people were sitting, and they were discussing something. And there was one more character which was sitting on another table, which was very hazy. Uh, and this was our PPDT picture, and our narration started, and it was our group of 15 candidates from chest number I guess 29 to 44. We were 15 candidates, and we were sent to a room, and then our narration happened. So the first time I have seen in my life, I have given so many SSBs previously also, that first time I have seen around 9 assessors in my room, which involved the president of the board as well. Although the president of the board was sitting on the last chairs or the sofas very casually, he was trying to assist a lieutenant general, 3-star rank general officer who was there on a visit. Later on I found it was when I searched it on Google. He was Lieutenant General Rahul R. Singh. And our PPT narration, as soon as each of us completed our story narration. So let me first tell you what was my story around. My story was around that Mr. X, he was a 22-year-old student, and he was planning on a sports fitness band, and he shared his idea through emails to various technology companies. And one day one company agreed and called him on a meeting. He prepared presentation, he collected samples on the field with the help of athletes, and then he made a presentation, and the meeting went successful, and he was able to grab the contract from the company, and his product flourished in the market sufficiently. That was my story. I was able to complete my story within 1 minute. And one thing which I noted, that I mentioned three characters in my story, and in the batch of 15 candidates, only one more candidate showed that or narrated that there was three characters. Rest of all, most of the candidates ignored the third character, but I showed it, and it's a good sign if your perception is correct. So later on, talking about the group discussion, as soon as there was the group discussion started, around 15 to 20 seconds hardly have been there when the GTO understood that it is going to be a fish market situation, and he don't want to bother the three-star general sitting behind on the sofas. So he immediately broke the group in the half. From the look, just like 15 persons sitting in a semicircle, he broke the group in two halves, like this in 45 degrees, and the rest in the 45 degrees, rest in the 90 degrees and 90 degrees here. So and firstly he told our group to discuss the common story, and in which most of the people were making random remarks. They were just shouting. So my contribution was only that. My chess number was first in our group. So in the when the narration started, so I completed my narration and I totally focused on the stories of other members, and that was a good point. And later on I recalled in my mind that seven of us has made the theme of the cafe, and there is a meeting being going on. So I entered group discussion a bit late, around 40 seconds after it started, and I entered with only one point, that gentlemen, as most of the members agreed on the idea of a cafeteria, let's take this as the theme. And and thereafter I could speak only this much only, and again the haphazard situation started, and some two or three points which were later on coming, like some two three people were pushing their stories, like they are planning to reinvigorate the vibes of the cafe. They are trying to replan the interior design as well as the external design of the cafe. These all were good points, and I realized that I should speak something, so I spoke their points only, like that. Just chess number 33 saying a good point, that they are trying to improve the quality of food in the cafe. I took all of the other points of the candidates, and that's how I participated. Talking about my story, I totally forgot what my story was when, as far as the group discussion started. And our group story was concluded very wellly, that it was a cafe, and two brothers were planning to improve their quality, and the one brother took the responsibility of managing the exterior of the restaurant, and the one brother took this management of the interior ones. They also focused on the aesthetics. Then the GTO sir ordered the next group to formulate their common group story. Their story was almost similar with new points, like they also helped college students by offering them employment for short term or part time employment, and they also gave them free meals during the weekend, something like that. And they also focused on improving the local cuisine or involving the local cuisine, which helped local tourism, local people to also visit their restaurant, and it was like that. And I concluded, and in the last, the GTO sir gave us 1 minute to conclude one common group story for the all the 15 members, and in which there was a very fastidious situation, in which I tried to make my most of it, and continuously, for example, there was if the GD was around 9 minutes, I spoke around 7 minutes sharply. And after this, the group discussion was over, and one of the chess number, which was chess number 36, he nominated me to narrate the common group story, and I narrated common group story with a very ease and comfortable demeanor. And we were all sent out to the crossroads. There is an area in SSB Bangalore that which is known as crossroads. There is a shed where you should wait for the results for further events. And so our results came out. Out of the 72 people who sat for the screening, around 31 was able to clear the screening test. And then we were given the new chess numbers and for our mobile phones for around 5 to 6 minutes to inform our home. And then we were directly sent for the lunch. We had our lunch, and then we were told that you are not going back to the barracks, and you are going to attempt the psychology test, which was on the afternoon just after we had our lunch. So talking about my stories, in the TAT pictures which I have noted down is, the first one is a person running in shorts in banyan. So I made a story in around marathon. I think I perceived most of my pictures wellly. And then there was two boys on a tree, two boys sitting on a tree. And third one, there is a scout guide. They were in shorts or proper NCC uniform, and there was a jungle scenario, and there was some 4 to 6 people were sitting behind also in the NCC uniform. The fourth story was a boat in a thunderstorm, and the the mast of the boat has catched the fire. Later on, after coming from psych test, I realized that I have made a mistake in uh, making the perception for this picture, that I have made a story around like there was one more person sitting on the boat, and he was covered with a blanket or something like that. But later on, I found that there was a fire kind of situation on the mast of the boat. So, although I didn't bothered about it much. So, talking about the next story, there was a boy in snow area. He was going uphill and he was wearing proper winter gear. Now, talking about next story, three men heading towards a fort. It is a very famous picture in SSB world, that three persons heading toward a fort, and two thieves kind of a person from the rope, they were trying to exit the fort. And there is one more picture, that there was a scene of mangroves and water, and one person was sitting on the boat trying to dodge, and the other person had some firing arm, and he was aiming on that person sitting on the boat. There was another picture of a boy following the other boy, and there was some background of houses. It was a very common story, you will see. And there was one more common story, that a young boy is shaking hand with a sardar, a Sikh gentleman who is wearing a uniform. It is a very common picture. And there is one more picture, like a boy outside the house. He was trying to enter the house. The house is locked, and from the window of the house, a small kid is trying to look outside. It is also a very common picture. So, talking about these all SRTs, these all TAT pictures, I have attempted all the 12 pictures, and my 12th story was around a senior company commander in the army, how he maintained goodwill in the Jammu and Kashmir, how he collected the int from the local people, and how he executed the terrorist neutralizing operation successfully, and he practiced mock drills and all the things like that, and how he was able to maintain peace in the area. This was my TAT pictures. Talking about WATs, I attempted all the WATs 60. Talking about SRTs, they were quite long, I found, and I attempted around 43. And most of the persons in my group, I have realized that they have attempted around 35 to 50. No one has crossed the mark of 50. Self description, I was comfortable in completing my self description on time. So the first day, which was very hectic, came to an end. We were sent to our candidates line, which was around on the third floor, I guess. We were awarded our barracks. We have the capacity of 4 people in one room, and that's why the CHM also briefed us about the strict rules of the Bangalore. So far, I have been visited 3 boards, excluding my screen out attempts. I found the most difficult, or the most strict board to be Bangalore only. And the next day started. Our batch was around 8 candidates, and we were called for interview. So, talking about my interview, I was called for my interview around 12 a.m. In the sharp afternoon, just before lunch. As soon as I entered in the room, I found there were 2 interviewing officers. One was the main interviewing officer, and the other was training IO. So, the first question they asked me about, you came from this district and tell me something about this district. This question I have already prepared from my home, and I narrated it in time of around 2.5 minutes. And from the look of the assessor, I found my answer to be totally satisfying. And he also made a smile, and he also made a smile. And after it, I was comfortable in the interviewing room. And then he covered all my questions regarding my CIQ, PIQ, as well as military knowledge and general awareness. He asked me what regiment would you like to join, and obviously I answered it would be my father's regiment. Then he asked me more about it, which part of arm does it involve, like fighting arm or support arm, and I narrated it thoroughly. And when I came back to home, I also rechecked my answers, and they were correct. Although I lagged only in one question when he asked about the world politics. He asked me about international news. So I started narrating something about Iran and Israel. And no, he asked me particularly about the countries which are neighboring India. Then I started narrating about Nepal issue. Then he said no, he only want to listen about Bangladesh. Then therefore I got stuck and I started narrating the previous 2 3 months relations with Bangladesh. So they're like there's a shift of government in Bangladesh, but he insisted that I must narrate the latest news, the latest 2 or 3 days old news, which I was not able to recall at that moment. And I assured the brigadier sir that whenever next time we will meet, and I will be able to tell you everything about this topic. And then he left that. Therefore, in none of the questions I lacked regarding my father's weakness, my personal weakness. He looks, they don't directly ask you regarding your weakness. They will ask you like, if I'll meet your friend, your roommate, what one thing he would tell me to improve in the Dipanshu. So these kind of things they will ask you. You must copy paste the same answer which you have prepared from the home. And then talking about and the last 10 minutes, when the main interviewing officer he finished, the additional IO he also started questioning me regarding why you haven't why your marks in JEE is not proper, and why haven't you joined the Air Force as X Y group, because I have cleared the Y group exam also. And I told him my honest answer that, sir, my interest is joining the armed forces as an officer, because I think there I would be more involved in planning as well as execution, and it would be a good use of my skills for the armed forces. And therefore, in the last, he also asked me one question that if I'll offer you 1 crore corporate job offer, what would you do? And I simply said, so I would deny that offer and I would join the armed forces. Remember, the additional IO was continuously making faces like a shock and awe that why have you not done this? You have not done this also, not done this NCC also. But you should make your composure and give your answers in a smooth manner, and try to maintain consistency in your answers. So till the day of the interview, I was very sure that I have made the best use of my skills in the SSB. But as soon as the GTO 1 arrived, the first topic of our group, it was the next day after the interview, the first topic of our GD1 was what is the main reason of uh, US attacking Iran? Was it first lead the nuclear disarmament, second to capture the natural resources like oil and petroleum of the Iran, third to maintain the US global hegemony? So I took up the lead of in the nuclear disarmament, and I spoke very well, and participated around 5 to 6 times in my GD. And talking about the average time, we were given only around 6 to 7 minutes for GD1. Otherwise, it is properly estimated to be around 15 minutes. Then in GD2, we were given topic like what is the main benefit of 5 days of work week? Is it the productivity? Will it boost the productivity? Second, will it boost the family relationship? Or third, will it boost the personal health of the individual? And I spoke on the very first lead, which is productivity. This time also I participated 3 to 5 times properly in the group. Now let's coming on the group planning exercise. There is a very chaotic situation in the group planning exercise, and we were not able to make anything out of it. As soon as we all agreed on the first and second solution of the problem, the GTO sir he asked us to conclude our group planning exercise, and one of the gentlemen he nominated me to narrate the common group exercise. And I have as it was mentioned in our group that we were only able to make out 1 to 2 solutions of the problem, I have narrated there only. And then the rest of the four problems, there were total 6 problems. Two were already discussed in groups, and the rest I have tried to place my solution. And that I think that was the best I could have done there only. Now the main situation which was not where the fuck up started was progressive group task. And this was the first task in which our whole group, like all the candidates, 8 on 8, were running short of ideas. Although there were 3 repeaters in our group who was appearing for their last attempt, like they have given already 10 to 12 SSBs, but in this PGT they were also running short of ideas. So we all tried our best till there is 4 tasks in progressive group task. Till the second task, I was able to participate fairly, and my ideas were also getting success and accepted by the group. But as soon as the third task arrived, our whole group started running short of ideas, and there was uh, chest number 16 and 22, they were going forward, taking the initiative and trying to solve the obstacle, although they didn't even succeeded, but they tried their best, I guess. And chess number 22 also got recommended from our group, and that's how the PGT went. And in the last, the GTO he himself gave the solution of the PGT, that this is how you should able to cross the obstacle. Now talking after the PGT, the half group task, he divided our group in even to odd chess numbers in the group of four. There also my participation was very low because I completely ran out of ideas, and because our group of four, they it involved two hardcore repeaters who were appearing for their last chance in the CDS, and there was they all took in the half group task. And after it, gentlemen, after I regretted it a lot that I was not able to participate completely in the PGT, as well as my agility also fucked up. Now thereafter came the time of individual obstacles. He briefed us about all the obstacles. I tried to attempt it 10, in which all the 10 I succeeded. Only in one obstacle I faced problem was balancing beam. I failed around 4 times, and the fifth time I was able to attempt it. And I was satisfied with my performance of the GTO 1. And now the GTO 2 started. My command task, talking about my command task, there were n number of GTOs. I was literally shocked when I've seen 4 GTOs on my left and 4 GTOs on my right, sitting and writing down properly the notes, and my main GTO sitting in the front chair. And my command task was, I would not call it hard, because it was, I found it very simple. It was completed in around three less than 3 minutes. It was all blue as well as white color, and there was one rotating material also involved in it. And there was no error in my group command task. Although one mistake which my subordinate mentioned about me, that I ordered one of them to cross the obstacle directly by walking, just by walking on the ground, which in my opinion was totally fair, because uh, the GTO sir was asking us the idea of how we will bring the last man, and it was our last obstacle, and me and my one subordinate had already passed from this path. So I told him just to make it a hurry and jump onto the last task, and then we will catch up with you also. And this was our CT. And talking about the all the GTO tasks were finished as of now. The full group task was not of such importance. Our group of hardcore repeaters was able to solve the FGT in around 2.5 minutes only. Now talking about the conference day, our my conference was my conference went around for around 3.5 minutes. They asked me why you have chosen this particular subject in your graduation as well as in your post graduation, and I have made consistency in my answers. Like these subjects will help me to balance out my preparation in CDS, as well as securing a good or fairly good career in my academics also. So he told me, okay, gentlemen, you may go, and I've told them that everything around here is safe and it is very positive mood in the campus. And then come the result time. 2 out of 31 candidates got selected, which is chess number 3 Aryan and chess number 22 Saurav Kumar. Talking about Saurav Kumar, it was also his last attempt for the CDS. His age was around 24 and a half years. He has already crossed. So he got recommended, and the rest of us, 29 candidates, we were sent out of the board, and it was a very learning and joyful experience. Later, after the on the day of conference, I also noticed the name of my interviewing officer. His name was Brigadier Anai Shankar. And the best part about my this SSB is my interview. It went for around 1 hour and 10 minutes. And thank you. That's all for today.